She humiliated me in front of everyone I loved. Every lie she told cut deeper than I ever imagined. They thought I was broken, that I'd vanish quietly. But they forgot years of hard work, patience, and quiet strength. Revenge doesn't need shouting, sometimes silence speaks louder. I'm Harold Jensen, 68, a retired truck driver from a quiet town in Ohio, where mornings are painted in gold sunlight and the smell of fresh coffee drifts through my little porch. I've spent decades carrying the weight of responsibility, supporting family, working long miles on the highway, and keeping promises no one else could. My routine is simple: a slow cup of coffee, a glance at the faded family photos lining the mantel, and the distant hum of life moving on without me. I believed loyalty and sacrifice were enough to earn respect, until she proved me wrong. Carly, my niece, a bright, entitled 35-year-old with little patience for age or experience, had always looked at me like I was a relic. "Grandpa, why are you still hanging onto that old house? You don't understand how things work now," she said one afternoon, dismissing decades of my labor with a wave of her hand. I had spent my life keeping the family afloat, paying for college, supporting my late sister's children, skipping vacations I could barely afford, all while my body ached from years of work, and here she was, erasing it all with a careless smirk. Like age made me invisible, something inside me stirred, a quiet, burning resolve that she would one day see the cost of underestimating me. The day of her wedding was meant to be joyous. Instead, it became the stage for the cruelest betrayal. She stood in front of the congregation, smiling, and said words I'll never forget. "Grandpa Harold? He's living in the past, clinging to his old life, while the rest of us move on." I could feel every eye on me, the whispers slicing through the air. Then I found out she had drained the account I'd carefully saved for my retirement, my life's work stolen with a few taps on a phone, ageist jabs, financial ruin, public humiliation, all wrapped in one calculated blow. I clenched my hands, my heart pounding, and yet I kept my dignity. No tears, no shouting, just the silent recognition that justice would come, and it would be mine. I didn't react immediately. Years of life taught me patience, and I knew the most devastating revenge is never rushed. I reviewed every detail quietly: her emails, her financial maneuvers, her reliance on the arrogance of youth. Slowly, deliberately, I positioned myself to reveal the truth without ever raising my voice. My revenge wouldn't be impulsive, it would be precise. Each careful step was a reminder of the wisdom that comes only with decades of experience. And as I watched her confident smirk fade, I felt the calm satisfaction of silent strategy, far more powerful than anger ever could be. Carly began to panic. Calls, frantic texts, and desperate emails flooded her devices, each one a testament to her unraveling composure. The arrogance that once made her untouchable crumbled in real time. Meanwhile, I maintained my quiet routine: porch coffee, old photographs, the slow ticking of the grandfather clock. The community began noticing discrepancies in her story, financial missteps, the whispering of neighbors who had once seen her as flawless. The tension built, a silent storm where the patient, older man stood unshaken, while youthful arrogance floundered helplessly. The reveal came during a community charity event she had expected to dominate, a perfect stage. As she boasted of her accomplishments, I presented the facts: emails, bank statements, evidence of every deceitful act she had carried out. The crowd gasped, her confident posture faltered, eyes wide. As neighbors and family watched the true story unfold, murmurs of disbelief rippled through the room. Carly's humiliation was public and undeniable. I stood quietly, dignified, letting the evidence speak for itself. Justice, it turned out, didn't require rage. It demanded patience, integrity, and timing, and in that moment, decades of betrayal were met with the ultimate vindication. Carly is now isolated, facing the consequences she had hoped I would never enforce. I returned to my porch, watching the sun dip behind the old oak trees, sipping coffee, reflecting on a life shaped by hard work, sacrifice, and loyalty. The lessons are clear: integrity endures, patience rewards, And dignity is never lost when earned. Life has a way of balancing itself if we remain steadfast. I feel the weight of decades, yes, but also the quiet satisfaction of justice reclaimed, not with vengeance, but with wisdom and grace. It's never too late to reclaim your dignity. Age is not weakness, it's experience. And sometimes, silence can be the most powerful response to betrayal. If you've ever been underestimated, misjudged, or hurt by someone you trusted, know that justice doesn't always shout. It often whispers through patience, wisdom, and time. Share your thoughts below. Your story might inspire someone else to stand tall, even after heartbreak.